boxes, folks. Good stuff in there.
What's up guys, this is Demon K2 here, and I know it's been a while, a very long while since I made the last video, but I have my reasons for that. Basically I decided to take a break from YouTube, and this was due to two reasons. First reason was the hard drive on my PC decided to get corrupted, and I pretty much lost everything on it, which meant all footage from games, my software for recording, drivers, etc, etc. So I had to reinstall all of that. I could save a couple of things, but not what I really needed to save. So I've had to go and get all that back. And another thing was, unfortunately, my headset broke, the one that I used to use for all my recordings. So I had to go and get a new headset. Unfortunately, the new headset I got is a wireless one, which works perfectly for sound, but as for recording, it's not so good. So I've had to borrow a microphone until I can get another one. So if you're ever thinking of getting a wireless headset, I would say it's good for sound, but not very good for recording, especially commentaries. You can use it in game, but I wouldn't recommend it if you do YouTube. Anyways, so what am I playing? This is Payday 2, the beta. Payday 2 comes out, I believe, the 13th on Steam, and then shortly after that for other platforms. If you don't know much about the series, there was the original, which was Payday the Heist, and that came out in 2011, I believe, and it was pretty much the same concept, except in this one they've added loads more features, customization, etc, etc. Anyway, it's a really good game. If you haven't tried it out, I suggest you check it out. It's really good. They've even done a live action series on the internet, which I highly recommend watching. But anyway, what am I doing here? Well, me and three randoms on a public match are robbing a nightclub for a guy named Vlad who used to belong to him, and he is trying to send a message. So we've been sent in to rob the place. We're basically going after the safe in the office, the manager's office, and that's how it works. Normally you'll be doing things like banks or jewelry stores, things like that. This is just another odd job you've been doing. Luckily we haven't been detected yet, and as you can see they use drills and things to get through safes and doors and such. It will jam a lot, so you have to keep an eye on it and fix it all the time, protecting yourself from the police, because in a normal heist you probably would have tripped the alarm by now unless you're really good. And there it goes. So now the police will start showing up, and what you can do is you can get everyone on the ground and you can keep hostages. Basically, if you have hostages, as you can see in the top right corner, you can trade them for teammates if they go into custody. Basically, when a teammate goes down, they have got a certain amount of time where they can be revived, and if they are not, they are captured by the police, as in custody. And you can only get them out after the end of a police assault, which is like a wave of non-stop police that you have to hold out against. You get certain perks such as doctor bags, which heal you, ammo bags, because ammo in this game does run out, and the only way to get it back is an ammo bag, or to pick up ammo from dead law enforcers. Because fights in this do get quite hard to control, you'll sometimes find yourself going down several times because there are just so many police, and they are constantly advancing, and they only stop when you try and suppress them. They take cover and they keep getting towards you until they can actually knock you down to the ground if they can't shoot you, which is pretty brutal. You get your own health, which runs down, it doesn't regenerate, and you get a small circle of what I would say is armor, which basically when you get hit you lose it, and then if you stay away from damage for a little while then it recovers. But once your health goes down, there's no way to get it back up unless you heal yourself, and if you do go down and you're revived, you get half of it back. So essentially you do have unlimited health, but you will go down if you lose all of it, and then you have to get revived again to get more. As I mentioned earlier with the doctor bag and the ammo bag, you get certain perks, I would say, that you get from skill trees. So every time you complete a heist you level up, and obviously every time you gain a level you gain a point to spend on different skills. You've got 4 different classes. You've got the mastermind, the enforcer, the ghost, and the technician. The mastermind has basically got like perks that help most of the team and help the heist be planned properly and such. He gets the doctor bag. The enforcer is the heavy guy, so he gets perks that help him take damage, do damage. He gets the ammo bags, things like that. The technician is the guy who's in charge of blowing stuff up, pretty much. He gets perks that help electronically, fixing drills, things like that. And his main equipment is a trip mine, which you can actually set up, and a stupid police enforcer will not see it, and then he'll get blown up. And lastly, the Ghost, he has an ECM jam which can be helped to disable things like cameras and phones. I would imagine it's got lots of uses that no one has discovered, and they have to experiment to find out how to use it, but I would imagine it comes in pretty handy once you know how to use it. And he gets things like moving around stealthily, silenced weapons do more damage, picking locks faster, basically anything that keeps you quiet. So if you have a team of 4 people who you're talking to, you can have some of them as ghosts, and you can actually execute a robbery where the police don't get notified and it all goes very smoothly. Obviously that'd be pretty hard, but it is doable. Obviously with publics it's a little harder because of the lack of communication. Another thing that is actually new with Payday 2 is heists will last over not just one day but a series of several days. This is a one-day heist, so this will be our Payday, but you'll have certain heists which are several jobs across several days, and then you'll get the Payday. This will yield a lot more money and a lot more experience as you've done several jobs, not just one. When you get a Payday on any job, what you'll earn is you'll take all the money that you amassed with your teammates, you'll divide it into 4, and then the bulk of the money will get sent to an offshore account, which is basically like your overall career earnings. So I think they're just there as a stat, I'm not sure you can actually use that. And then you get spending cash, which is basically, I think it's a percentage of how much you earn and send off to the offshore account. I'm not quite sure how it's worked out, but that's the money you can spend on upgrades, different masks, things like that. A neat thing about this is you can customize your own mask. You can do that before. You can customize weapons with several attachments. Right now I'm using actually the Car 4 rifle. Basically I think due to like trademark issues or something they couldn't use like real world weapon names. So this is pretty much the M4. You get the starting rifle is a variation of the M4, but it's only got a 20 round magazine. This has 30 and it does more damage. But you can add anything pretty much to the gun. You can add scopes, barrel extensions, barrel modifications. You can also add grips and just loads of different things that actually adjust the weapon. I think there's 5 or 6 categories of different attachments you can add to the assault rifle. Secondaries, you don't have to just to get pistols, you can get pistols with several different attachments, silencers, special grips, laser sights. Then you can get shotguns or submachine guns. I've actually seen what looks like a miniaturized version of an M416 into a submachine gun mode, which you can use as a secondary, so I'm looking forward to unlocking that. I'm not sure whether all the stats from the beta will transfer to the game, but I would hope they do, because leveling up in this game is it's challenging. It doesn't let you just finish the game really easily. You have to spend time and put in several jobs to get more and more leveling up. There's about 30 levels I think, I'm not sure roughly, but as far as attachments and guns go, it goes about that high to get the best guns. Obviously don't quote me on that because I am not 100% sure, but that is what I've gleaned from checking the upgrades page. One of the things I really like about Payday 2 is the soundtrack, and I believe I bought the Criminal Career Edition, which gives me access to the soundtrack. You can get it now on Steam for an additional £5 or whatever country you live in. I'm not sure what that will be in dollars or euros or whatever, but it's pretty good because you get access to the beta and you get cool in-game bonuses, such as I think it's called the Payday loot bag, which has a red dot sight and certain bonuses in-game. The game doesn't actually have any microtransactions, but buying the Criminal Career Edition makes things cheaper to buy in-game and such. But the soundtrack is just amazing. It really works quite well with the game and how it's a theme. Obviously, since we're in a nightclub, the music plays from the nightclub, but when you're doing a bank heist or something like that, then the music adapts to the situation and will rise and decrease depending on what's happening, such as if there's about a wave about to start, the music will start building up, so you know without having to look up to see that there's actually an assault that there's about to be some action, which is really quite cool. It's a really good looking game as well, and it will run quite well on some medium spec PCs. I've got a medium spec PC, nothing to boast about, needs an upgrade really. But it can run this at 120 frames. I think it's 100. I think that was its peak really. It was around 60 to 100 roughly. Obviously recording I can't do as much because I don't have the right beefiness on my PC for that, but when you're playing just on your own, not recording or anything, then it gets some beautiful smoothness to it. And for a game that looks quite good, I'm surprised it doesn't actually need more processing requirements. One of the reasons I really love this game is they've taken a concept, such a simple concept, and made it into reality. I don't know, I can't think of many other games that give you this sort of criminal thrill, and the style of the game is just perfectly executed, and the way they've added features with customization and the ability to choose how you're going to rob something and what equipment to use just makes it really good. And one of the things I love about most games that are first person shooter and involve lots of guns is the customization, which they've really done quite well on this, and it enables you to have your own personality when you're robbing something. You can choose your own weapons, your own masks, how you're going to pull off a heist, and if you have a large array of friends to play with, you can choose what sort of heist you're going to do based on the people you have. Like if you have a friend that's got a really good ghost skill, then you can have him take care of all the cameras and stuff, while if you have another guy who's an enforcer, you can have him on civilian crowd control, and obviously you can adapt to different situations based on your skills, which is really quite good. The only gripe I have is just that bit right there, the fact there's no escape animation. I think that would be really awesome if they maybe add that in the final game. But other than that, I think this is a brilliant game. If you haven't tried it, I suggest you go and look it up. But yeah, I'm the Demon Carrier 2. I hope you've enjoyed. I will be doing more videos. I am back, and I'll see you guys in the next one.
Looking down on the cars on